Nelson Mandela was the first democratically elected president of South Africa in 1994. Thousands of people remember seeing the news that Mandela died around 1997. I am one of those people. I clearly remember seeing people crying in the streets and all the tributes for Mandela on the news. We were shocked to see the news that he died again in 2013. This is one of the first known instances of the strange phenomenon that has come to be known as the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect is a strong feeling of déjà vu, or the awareness that history hasn't happened exactly as you remember it. Are we living in a parallel dimension? If so, how do we get back to our old one? There are now thousands of cases of the Mandela Effect floating around online. Many people remember these cases as being different than the way they were before. Many people remember things as always being the way they are. I agree with about 90% of these Mandela Effect stories. I remember some things that no one else seems to remember. I remember Gene Wilder dying back in the early 90s, but in this dimension he died in 2016. I remember Gene Wilder's name being spelled different. Wilder was W-Y-L-D-E-R, and now it's W-I-L-D-E-R. I remember a local NBC News weatherman, Joel Huffman, dying in the late 90s, but in this dimension he died in 2015. When I was a kid, Joel Huffman had a show called Mr. Cartoon. He would play old cartoons like Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry all afternoon after we get out of school. I lived through the shock of Mr. Cartoon dying 2 times. Some of the other things that have changed for me are more or less the same things that everyone else has noticed. Life is like a box of chocolates. Luke, I am your father. And Chick-fil-A did not have a K in it before. I remember the Berenstain Bears books as being Berenstein. I remember the Mr. Rogers theme as saying, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." Mr. Rogers used to spell his name different. It was R-O-D-G-E-R-S. I know this for a fact because my best friend ever since childhood is named Roger. We would always laugh because Mr. Rogers spelled his last name with a D, and Roger does not spell his name with a D, so we always made a big joke out of that. I found an old cassette tape of all my favorite childhood songs that I recorded while holding the tape recorder close to the TV. Like people's old family Bibles that have changed, this old cassette tape changed as well. I was hoping to find some sort of residual evidence when I found this old tape. This tape is at least 25 years old, but it plays fine. It plays fine everywhere except for one particular part. See if you can tell what I'm talking about. It says, if the tape has some sort of glitch on it, when Fred Rogers says, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood." It's almost as if someone recorded over that part of the tape or something. It used to say the neighborhood, but now it says this neighborhood. I know that isn't possible. Why would anyone come into my house to find a 25-year-old cassette tape in my closet and record over one word? Is this bad portion of my tape just a coincidence? I agree that the Bible is different now. I'm no expert on the Bible, but I do know it fairly well. Or at least I used to know it. I know it used to say wine skins, not bottles, in Matthew 9 and 17. I know it used to say the lion and the lamb in Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 6. I know there used to not be any mention of debts in the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6 and 9. Maybe there's nothing more than false memories to blame for the Mandela Effect, even though I'm 99.9% sure that Darth Vader said, "Luke, I am your father." You can say that we're all crazy conspiracy theorists, but to me there's no arguing that the Bible has changed. Millions of people have memorized these scriptures. They can't all be wrong. The Mandela Effect always seems to give us more questions than answers. Do you have a Mandela Effect story? I'd love to read about it in the comments or an email. Thanks for watching. See you soon.